Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with veteran jazz saxophonist Greg Abate. We talked to him about his fourth recording with the Tim Ray Trio on the Wailing City Sound label. This is the CD Gratitude, State Door Live at the Z. Greg and his friends find the true essence of jazz on this impressive testament to true improv. With no formal rehearsals, no overdubs, mulligans, or redos, the band captures its performance in truth, in full and in the moment. Thus, that's jazz. Joined by Tim Ray on piano, John Lockwood on bass, and Mark Walker on the drums, Greg does the honors on the horns, and they cruise through a slate of mainly originals, and this is a album that jazz lovers should get their hands on. Have a listen to him talk about it and dig this interview.
Thank you for taking a minute to talk to Neon Jazz today. I absolutely love this new live disc, Stage Door Live at the Z with the Tim Ray Trio. It's beautiful, man.
Thank you. Wow, I'm really honored to be on the show. It makes me happy. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
I like it.
It's been a few years since we've talked, so I just want to, in general, before we get into this CD, ask, how's everything going?
Pretty good. I can't complain about anything. It's just, it's always hard to keep your career going and trying to nurture your playing and take, different steps to try to get better as a player, if you will, that type of thing. And recordings are really revealing to the artist, I'm speaking for myself, because in that case, doing that live, Gratitude, we did one take on each tune, and we had just enough time for the theater to just do what we had to do without taking any repeat takes or anything. So it's kind of what you hear is what you get, that's it. There's no forgiveness, you know what I mean? So as an artist, we always think of it. So I tend to go into these little downfalls sometimes after I do a recording like that or any recording, because you sort of hear things in yourself that you want to change. But on the other hand, I get a lot of responses like yours that you love it and everybody likes it. So you wonder if we're just too critical of ourselves, but that's just a natural thing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm doing okay other than those sort of things that I always try to get, maybe I'm thinking maybe more lines, longer or shorter lines, different types of melodies that, I'm just searching to be more creative, and then, thinking hindsight, well, maybe we should have played longer solos on that. It seemed like it was going pretty good, but why stop, that type of thing. You know what I mean?
It's funny because my stepdaughter, I'll listen to my shows sometimes, and she'll be like, don't you get tired of that? You just want to hear your own voice? It's like, no, I do that because I'm trying to make things better. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing and how I can fix it. There's so many things that go into refinement when you're doing it. But when the casual listener's listening to it, we don't hear that, ever. It's just not on our radar,
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool and good, I think, because wow, it's amazing that you said that. And like the voice is always something you want to get used to or work on. It never seems to be quite right.
No, yeah, there's always something wrong. So this is your fourth recording with the Tim Ray Trio. You're on the Wailing City Sound label, and as you said, the thing that's beautiful about this album is over and over, this is the essence of jazz. What you guys do, whether you're in the studio or you're on the stage, is you're doing the genuine level of improv. And that has to feel good when you get away to know that. I mean, do you ever think about that that's what you're doing all the time, is you're doing basically one take and that's how you live your life?
Yeah, I do, and I do think that way. And I would say my life is an improvisation, really. Everything I do, I relate to music. And everything I do, like when I play, it's a beautiful Zen-like feeling to play at this point. But I'm not saying I'm still searching to, I want to practice. You practice technique, but you don't play technique to make music. So it's like, but that it sort of gets into your subconscious where you're able to do more because you can do it. I'm into that in the moment type of playing. I don't like to rehearse that much for a gig. In sound checks, I barely want to do anything before the first note of the tune when I'm playing. I get a lot of that when I travel. And, sound check sound check's at 4 o'clock, and I want to rehearse. The gig starts at 8. And I was thinking, holy cow, 4 hours. I'd like to get there. And they said, well, what are we going to play tonight? I said, well, I've got some charts. Let's decide, right before we play. That type of thing. In the moment, I like that non-predictable rehearse type of thing.
Well, and it one of the songs on there was kind of a farewell to Phil Woods. Talk to me about that song.
Oh, that was an original tune of mine, and I had recorded that on the recording before as a bossa nova, and I didn't expect that Neil Weiss, the president of the owner of the Whaling City Sound recording company, he said, Greg, I'd like you to do that one again. And I said, really? You want me to record that again on this album? He said, yeah, let's do it. And maybe, he's into me playing a cadenza, which I did at the end, a little bit longer than the first recording I did of Farewell Phil Woods. The trio said, well, let's do it straight swing aids instead of bossa nova. So we played a slow swing tune. But the tune is written for Phil Woods, who recorded 2 albums with Phil, and he passed away too soon in 2015. And we had just done that recording live at Chan's Kindred Spirit, and so it's dedicated to Phil, and that's basically just my farewell song for Phil Woods.
So the one thing that's unique about this album, and I ask this because I've been in this situation. I was live at one of our venues in Kansas City for a recording for an album, and I got the album and listened to it, and I remember how much electricity was in the crowd. I mean, everybody in the crowd knows that it's getting recorded. There's a special feeling. So talk to me about what that's like to do that.
I find that the audiences that are really into the jazz from we're not recording, it's still pretty electric to me, because a good audience always helps the performance or the concert, because they give energy back to us that inspires us. It's sort of like a natural chemistry, I didn't know if they were putting out more because it was a recording. I couldn't tell, but I'm always buzzed to play anyway, so I don't know the difference other than an audience that is there. Like some countries, they're more polite. They don't rant and rave and give you a lot of applause. It's very polite clapping, and so you wonder, are they really getting this? And we're blowing up our brains out up there playing, stretching out. And then the response is totally not the same level of energy that, we're giving.
And this is the thing. The essence of this CD to me is that jazz is alive and well. The live recording is alive and well. What you've done throughout the years is just exemplified by what you've done with Tim and the trio. I think it's a great recording, man. I really have kept this in my CD chamber and driven around for a long time with it, and I just really felt like I wanted to talk to you about it. And yeah, I appreciate the recording for sure.
Well, I so appreciate that. It makes me feel great to hear that. It's not great in the way that you think well, wow, I'm something. I don't never think that. It's I feel as though it's an ongoing process with my music, and I always try to play in the moment and to make music in sincere with no gimmicks in show on this bandstand, but communication with the audience, verbally and musically, of course. And that makes me feel good that you got that out of that record. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you bet. And I think that's the key to a good recording, whether it's live or it's in the studio, is that you're doing what you're going in there to do, and that's to give the audience a good show and to give them a recording they want to listen to over and over. And as far as I'm concerned, this is something that's going to play quite a bit. So,
great.
I appreciate you taking some time out. I appreciate the recording, and I look forward to our next conversation about it.
Yeah, I thank you very much. It was hard to record it, but just briefly, the engineer did a great job. It was a boomy theater, and it was hard to mix because he mic'd it really well, but it was not easy to get that. It sounds almost not live in the sense of the echo in that theater. So it was difficult in the mic placement. I always had to make sure I got on the mic And a lot of times I back away from the mic, not knowing it because I'm not mic conscious. So that was a challenge through the whole thing too, to make sure you're in the right position and try to be in the right place and try to play and forget about it, So you get what you get. It's whatever it was is what happened. So that's live, in the essence of live, for sure.
You captured the moment. It's a beautiful recording. Thanks again for the recording, for taking some time out, and yes. Until next time, man, we'll do it again.
All right, be well, and thanks. All the best to you.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to yet another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest cats in Boston, KC, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to Greg for his time and his music. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino in the iTunes Store. Visit Neon Jazz at YouTube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.